but just check out how fast this is. Bum, 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 bum. I can't even type this fast enough. Look at how incredibly fast it is to load all of this data. ZeroSync is the local first platform of my dreams, and I truly believe this thing is going to change the game forever in how we build web apps. Because the demo I'm about to show you is incredibly good. And I've been using this tool for the past few months. I was one of the first people to get access to Zero before it was in alpha. And I got a demo of this Zero Bugs repo way back then, and my jaw was on the floor the whole time. This thing absolutely rips. And let me tell you just a little bit about this. It's from the creators of Replicache. So they have a lot of experience building sync systems and local first platforms. Replicache was a really great platform. You've seen me talk about it on this channel, where you did the mutations client side and it sent a message to your server. You then personally had to parse those patch messages and then manipulate the database on your own server code. And that was great, but it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to both deal with the patch messages as well as create the patch messages from when you're pulling information. You had to set up server sent events. You had to do a whole lot just to get the kind of baseline functionality that you'd want from one of these platforms. And while I did really love using Replicache, it always felt like I was doing too much. Now, Zero really solves every single one of those problems in the best way possible. Now, let me tell you about some of the problems that Zero solves that other local first platforms have. One, you can bring your own database. Some of these platforms, they want to be your database. They want to be your store. There's a platform I really liked called InstantDB that's trying to be like a Firebase competitor. That one, you have to store all of your data inside of their database. Well, you can bring your own Postgres database, and not every feature of Postgres is supported, but a good amount of them are, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Either way, you bring your own DB, which means you can bring your own data. Two, you can host it yourself. There's a Zero server that you can host yourself. You're not paying someone to host this server for you. It's not on a third-party server. You can host it anywhere you'd like yourself, which I know is exciting for a lot of people, given that a lot of these platforms don't give you that option. Three, it's open source. You can see the source. It's great. Gotta love an open source platform for many reasons, but me personally, I just like having that assurance that it will exist, even if the company that is running the servers is no longer existing or something like that. Again, you can host it on your own infrastructure. Four, it is fast as hell. It's fast. It's incredibly fast to use. You'll see in just a second just how very fast it is with no effort from the user's part. Many of these other things can be very fast, but they require a lot of mental overhead to get there. And five really is that it is easy. You're not having to worry about the sync system. You're not having to worry about the cloud server or whatever you're doing server. You're writing mutations, you're writing find statements directly in your client-side code, and everything is happening behind the scenes. Now, you still get access to be able to fine-tune permissions and things like that, but you're not having to worry about actually writing code that saves to the database itself. It's really exquisite, and I'll show you all of that and more. So let's take a look at this demo before I show you any bit how it works. But this is the Zero Bugs demo. I'll make this available. This is a public site. The Zero team has been working on this demo for a while to just show you how fast this is. So first and foremost, you click into an issue and you can see how fast it is. They also added keyboard shortcuts in here. So if I hit the J key, it goes to the next issue. They did this so that you can see just truly how fast loading data is in this platform. Again, this data is persisting to a database, right? So we're loading at some point, we're loading from a database that's loading into your local data, the site loading from that local data. You mutate that local data, and behind the scenes, it sends patch messages. But just check out how fast this is. Bum, 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 bum. I can't even type this fast enough. Look at how incredibly fast it is to load all of this data. And you might be thinking, all right, maybe it's preloaded all of these. Well, I refresh. Look, I hit it with a refresh. Look at that. I cannot stress enough how amazing this is. And you will find this to be even that much cooler when you see the type of code you use to create things like this. And likewise, yeah, you need to be logged in to create an issue. But you know what? Every single thing on this site feels as fast as humanly possible. It is just shocking. The whole thing is shocking, honestly. Um, and I felt this way when I got the demo, and I was really like, wow, this is a good demo, right? And so I wanted to take some time, and I've been working with this. I've been working on like the svelte bindings for it. I've been just using this platform to build several things for a little bit here. And I gotta say, in practice, it is as good as it is to use as it is to develop on here. This is just so how is this fast? Well, it's this fast because if we head into our dev tools inside of application, it's storing your information in a local database. And anytime you change anything or you load anything or you anytime you do anything, the first thing it does is pull it from the local database. And then behind the scenes, it handles that sync, it handles that push and persistence to your database. So now that you've gotten the ZBugs demo, right, it's their kind of red carpet demo, the thing they want you to see, let's take a look at a quick demo that I threw together. So to show you this in action, I want to show you this really quick. Here's first and foremost, I'm updating the database on every keystroke. So if I just hit like that and I refresh, you can see it's not only persisting to the local database, but it's already updated the database remotely as well. It's that fast. And I can save this with every single keystroke. You can see I hit it with the refresh and you still get near instantaneous loads. This is incredible. This is in development. This is not even a production build. You can see I'm running it on my local host. And furthermore, let me show you a little bit of what you can do with this thing. I created this quick little survey app, which believe it or not, survey apps are a little bit complex and mine is still just barely getting there. But let's go ahead and I'm going to edit one of these surveys and I'll expand this to show you in here that this right here is an anonymous window. So it's not logged in. It's not even it's not in the same browser profile. This is an incognito window. And since a lot of this stuff is happening through WebSockets, you get real time for free. So I can say, what really is my age again? And you can see as I'm typing here, it's updating here. The most incredible thing about all of this again is at any given point I refresh it, it's persisting. It's persisting to the remote and the local database. I can even change maybe the type of question that is in this survey. This undefined is my bug on my part here, but really pretty neat. What is going on? Man, I just love this. Let me show you the code that it takes to make this, okay? Now, my code is going to be the Svelte version of this. I'm using my own Svelte bindings that I have available on GitHub, but for the most part, let me tell you what you do. You create a 0 instance. So I'm creating a Z. Now I'm putting this into a local store, but don't worry about that. I'm creating a Z instance with the following things. I'm grabbing the user ID from a JWT. I give it the path to the public server. I give it a schema of which I've created from 0, and I'm giving it a JWT for my auth, okay? So that's creating Z as an instance. Now, anytime I want to do anything with this, I use Z, and I'm bringing Z in from my cache context. So this is just Z right here. And I'm able to say Z.query and then the data type, and then I can use their own language, ZQL. I grab one of them. You can even do relations here. So for each survey, I want to grab all of the questions, and inside of the questions, I want to grab the answers too, and then I want to grab the responses. This is the entirety of the code it takes to get that dynamic responsive data loading. That's it. I just wrap it in this new query to create a class. Now, in the React version and the Solid version, there are hooks, there's platforms for them to use query, and you basically do the same thing where you're passing in z.query.whatever. And the same thing goes for mutations as well. So anytime you can see I'm going to answer here, I'm using cache.z.mutate, then the collection.update, and then I'm just passing in my information in here, or an insert for creating information as well. Let's take a look at the schema really quick because it's really not that complex. I got to restart TypeScript. That's why I'm getting this an underline here. But you're just running this create table schema. I'm creating a profile that has the following columns. I'm creating a user schema that has the following columns. And then I give it a relationship where I set up my relationships. Now, I also have a Drizzle schema for migrations and those types of things. But if you're good with Postgres, or you can write MySQL by hand, or you write your migrations by hand, you could do that. That's no problem. I use Drizzle because I'm not good at that stuff. So I end up having kind of two schemas. I know there are some folks working on Drizzle 2.0 schema translation and stuff, which I personally would love to have. So maybe at some point that will exist. Either way, you create this schema. From here, you drop it in and create a schema, and that gives you your schema here, of which you pass into things. And everything becomes fully typed. You can say I can export any of my types from here, but anytime I do queries as well, that information becomes fully typed. And in fact, I can show you that here we have a simple query surveys where we're querying to find a survey where it matches the page params, and we're grabbing one of them. You can see that it has all of the information here exactly. And that's incredible, man. All this stuff is nicely typed, so I can even see I have a type issue here, but it's awesome. Okay, let's get back to the schema here. I'm going to show you permissions really quick. I haven't fully set up permissions. In fact, I just have undefined for everything just to open them up. But the way you handle permissions is typically through a JWT, where you're giving 0 the code to decode your JWT, and that kind of spits out your auth as auth data right here. And then you can say, you can write your own functions like, I'm going to allow this if logged in, and then you get to utilize this CMP to say, all right, this is allowed wherever the user ID in the data incoming is equal to that same user ID that is stored within the JWT. So you have full access to not only set up your permissions for reading, but also writing, updating, etc. That's all within here. I'm going to be working on much more in-depth examples. In fact, you remember I did a local first tutorial using Replicache. I'm going to redo that using 0, and you're going to just be shocked at how much easier it is. So before we get out of here, I wanted to show you just a little bit of the 0 docs. In fact, they have a whole lot of stuff in here. There's some really good quick starts. If you're a React user, if you're a Solid user, you're going to be eating very well because there are great integrations, there's great documentations, there's full stack versions where you have auth and everything like that. Like for instance, for my Svelte version of this app, I had to build in my own auth system. So I had to write my own auth system. I'll make this public too. This is in my drop-in repo. So I wrote my own auth system. Works nice. Either way, you can use all kinds of auth system, whether that's open auth or anything like that. As far as things go here, you can connect to Postgres super easily. You set it via an env variable. There's not much there. Supported Postgres features is the only thing that's really something you'll want to spend some time with here, because you can see that it does accept all of these things where you can use an enum, and in your schema you use this. Likewise, JSON, JSONB, dates, timestamps, all that stuff. So a lot of the basic features, most features in Postgres are utilized. There is some stuff in here, so you might want to take a look at it if you're a heavy Postgres user. For me, I'm like always working with the basics. That goes deep inside of the schema stuff that we talked about. The ZQL, as they call it, is the zero query language, which I've personally found, as far as ORM query languages to go, to be extremely straightforward. Order by, where. So if find issue, where, and then grab one of them. Otherwise, it will grab an array. Relationships are incredibly easy. Writing data is via inserts or updates, like I showed before. Auth, again, is what I mentioned. Permissions is how I mentioned, but it goes much deeper than I showed or am doing. You can even preload data with the .preload method on here. It also supports schema versions as well, so you can version your schema, which is really super nice for people who want to make sure they're managing everything correctly. Deployment, again, there's a Docker image you can use to deploy Zero Cache for the Zero server. For the most part, again, you're going to be just deploying that server. You're going to use it as a URL connected to your app, and there is your server. There's some interesting stuff in here, but it's fairly trivial to get going. So this stuff is all amazing. You'll want to check out the roadmap. This is an alpha still. This is an alpha, so there's going to be bugs. There will be issues. Like I said, I've been using this since the APIs have been changed, so I'm very used to things changing within Zero. But in its current iteration, I'm extremely stoked for it. It looks like they're trying to get to beta in Q2 of 2025. So this is a library that is definitely in flux still. But if you are as excited about this demo, the ZBugs demo, just how fast this stuff is as I am, check out ZeroSync. This is the platform of my dreams, and I do feel like this is going to be the first platform that really takes local first into a position where a lot of people are going to be using it, because it is really, really super impressive, and I think people are going to start talking about this. So if you'd like to see more local first content on this channel, let me know. My name is Scott. As always, again, I love this stuff, and I will be doing full-on tutorials, whether it is React, Svelte, any of that stuff. Let me know what you want to see from this. Do you have any questions or comments about Zero? Do you have any concerns about it? Is there anything that you are skeptical about in this platform? Have you tried ZBug? If not, I'll link this demo below and you can give it a try. Check this stuff out though. And if you want to follow along with my survey app or anything like that, I'm building it in my drop-in repo. I'll also make that available in the description below. What I'm doing actually is a starter kit for Zero, and I want it to be very Meteor and Svelte-like. So out of the box, you get templates for logging in, you get user accounts, you get local first, you get the WebSocket, you get real time, and you get some base styles and a grid system. So hey,